So we are reviewing what's happening so this is the little half tick. We're going to see what happened at the beginning. Cora. Actually, I forgot to ask this question. First question I want to ask is who is in the story? Who are the characters in the story? The characters. Evelyn.
Medio Petito's mom, Medio Petito's brothers and sisters, and Medio Petito's.
Good. Who are the characters in it that aren't necessarily alive? Go ahead. Continue saying. Who did he not help?
He didn't help the fires, the wind, or the river.
And the river. And then the last character that has a big part is who tried?
The chef.
The chef. Good. There's quite a few characters in this story, but who's the main character, Evelyn?
Medio
Petito. Okay. Where does this story take place? Who remembers where does this story take place? Grace?
On a farm.
On a farm, okay. Does anyone remember what country it takes place in? What country are we talking about? Kinsley? That's okay. Who remembers what country it takes place in? Rogelio?
Spain.
Spain. Good job. Who was going to say Spain? Nice job. So this takes place in Spain. Good job. So we have the characters, we have the setting, and he was trying to go to Madrid, which is a city in Spain. Okay, what happened first? We're going back to that question. What happened at the beginning of the story? At the beginning, do you remember, Cora? Okay, go ahead. Yeah, so he's like, but I don't want to be here anymore. I'm going away, right? So he decided he was off because he was a little half chick and everyone wanted to help him, but he was what? He was very stubborn, right?
Yes.
He was stubborn, which means he didn't want any help. He didn't want to change his mind. And independent, so he wanted to go off by himself. What happened in the middle of the story? In the middle of the story. Sitting in your seat, please. Middle of the story. Wearing it like first grader. Lily, what happened in the middle of the story?
In the middle, he wasn't doing anything to anybody because he was off to see the chef, the king, to let him be.
Nice. So in the middle of the story, he didn't want to what his time? He didn't want to what? Waste his time. He didn't want to waste his time helping who? Who did he not help? Who did he not help, Sophia?
The fire and the wind and the water.
Nice job. The fire, the wind, and the water. So he didn't want to waste his time helping them because he was off to see the king in Madrid. Very good job, Lily. What happened at the end of the story? At the very end. Kinsley?
Well, he got close for the chicken. So, yes, for the sword, the final thing. Yeah. The wind flew along the water.
Nice job. Nice job. I love how you added that. So she said that he was getting cooked, so he asked the water, the fire, and the wind for help. And did they help him?
No.
They did not help him. So, and he ended up turning into a what? What was the thing that he turned into at the end? Where they came from? And that was it. Mason? A weather vane. So is this a fiction story or a non-fiction story? Let me see. Natalie, is this fiction or non-fiction? Fiction, because it is not true. Good. Okay, the next story. Oh, and the moral of that story. Does anyone remember the moral of that story? The moral of that story. Evelyn.
Do unto others
Nice job. Do unto others as you would like others to do unto you, which means treat others the way you want to be treated. Okay, the next story. Hello. Nice job. Next story. What's this story called? What is the name of this? The title of this story is, Grace?
The Crowded and Noisy House.
The Noisy Crowded House. Who were the characters in this story? Who were the characters in this story? Sophia?
The kids and the mom and the dad and the sheep.
So the kids, the mom, the dad, and the mother-in-law. Right? Remember that? And who did the poor man talk to?
You could
Who was the guy that he asked for advice from? Advice from Caleb? Oh, I'm sorry. Caleb.
He said, "Do you have any more pets?" Yeah.
So, I don't want to know what he did yet. I want to say, who did he ask? Who was that said that? Do you remember what he was called? What's he called? I'll come back to you because I know you know the story. What was that person called, Mason?
Church keeper.
So he was part of the church. He's called one more, Rogelio? Let's see. I'm going to say rabbi.
Rabbi.
So rabbi is the leader of the Jewish church. Hand down for a sec. So rabbi. So he went to the leader of the Jewish church. He went to the leader and he asked for advice. Who can tell me what advice means? What does advice mean? We learned about that word. Advice. Grace.
It means when you tell people things that can help them.
Yeah, when you want to offer them some help, or like something that, like, when you give them an idea of what may help them solve their problem. Good. What was the beginning of this? Oh, where was it set? What was the setting of the story? We have our characters. What was the setting? Cora. What was the setting? What was the title? What was the setting, Lily?
The dough.
That's the setting. I want the setting, where it took place. The setting. I'm seeing the same few people over and over and over again. I'm going to start calling people. Jimmy, where did it take place? Where did this story take place? Okay, well, think about it. If the story is called The Noisy Crowded House, where did it take place? I don't want you to tell you the answer. I want you to think about it. It took place in a house. Good. So in a house. So when we're thinking about the setting, we're where it took place. Okay.
You can also say siblings. What is that? Siblings. Siblings is children.
Right, but we're talking about the setting. So now, what happened at the beginning of the story? What did the poor guy originally say? What happened at the beginning, the very, very beginning? Okay, I need y'all to wake up. Eyes are up here. I'm seeing the same 6 people raise their hands, and I have 17 people in this classroom. Who or what happened at the very beginning? Hadley.
The poor guy was still asked.
The rabbi, yeah.
The help him with his house.
With his house, what was wrong with his house, Hadley? Why did he ask for help?
Because his kids were always fighting, and his wife was always screaming, and his grandmother was always whining.
Nice job. I love how you remember what each one would do. So the kids, he wanted to ask for advice because it was so loud and noisy because the kids were always fighting. The mother was always his wife was always screaming, and his mother-in-law was always complaining. Tabachi, very good. So, what happened in the middle of the story? What did he get? What was the advice he gave him? What happened in the middle of the story? In the middle. Zane, what happened in the middle of the story? Were you here this way? Did you hear this one? Okay, just kidding. I'm Zane. He doesn't know. Let's tell Zane what happened in the middle of the story. Jackson, what happened in the middle of this story? Were you here for this one? Oh, you were probably saying that word. So your eyes are facing this way. Grace, what happened in the middle of the story?
He brought the animals in his house.
Yeah, he told them to bring the animals. Who remembers which animals? Who remembers which animals? Sophia.
The sheep and the cow.
So we've got a goat, not the sheep, so the goat, the cow, and who was the last one? Evelyn?
The goose.
The goose, very good. Did it help his problem? No, so what happened at the end of the story? What happened at the very end? Harper.
He got all the animals out of the house.
And then what?
He said, obey.
Obey. So did it get better after he took the animals out of the house?
Yes.
Yeah, it did. So who remembers what the moral of that story was? The moral of that story. Grace? Well, that, but it's so don't complain about things that go wrong, because it could always be what? Worse. So don't complain about what could go wrong, because it could always be worse. Very good. What about this story?
Peter Rabbit.
What's the title of this story, Zaylee? The title. Of the title. So the title is the name of the story. Peter Rabbit. Good. Who are the characters in this story? Caleb. Peter Rabbit. Who else? Harper? Okay, so we have Peter Rabbit. Who else are the characters? Sophia? The sisters. Who else? Kinsley? And what? So yeah, the sisters are Cottontail, Flopsy, Mopsy, and the mother, right? And Peter Rabbit. And then we have, whose garden did he go into? Cora. Mr. McGregor, very good. Where was this taking place? What was the setting of the story? What was the setting? Lily. Where did it take place? Where did it take place? Grace?
In a hill.
So in a hill? Is that what we said? Not quite. That's shouting out. Evelyn, I need you to sit in your seat correctly, please. Evelyn.
Under a tree, because that's where the rabbits live, and at Mr. McGregor's garden.
Nice job. There were two places. So the first part of the story was under the tree where they had their home. The second part was Mr. McGregor's garden. Very good. What happened at the beginning of the story? The very beginning. Very beginning. Cora. Oh, excuse me. Nice. So right at the beginning they were at their house, and she said, "Okay, don't cause any." What was the word we talked about in that story?
Mischief.
mischief. Very good. Don't get into any mischief. Very good. That happened at the beginning. What happened in the middle? What did he do? What happened in the very middle? Girls. What happened in the middle of this story? Sophia.
He didn't listen to his mom, so he left the house and went to his garden.
Nice job. So he did not listen and he went to the garden. What happened in the garden? This is still part of the middle. What happened in the... This is still part of the middle. What happened in the garden, Caleb?
He ate the food.
He ate the food and then what? Kinsley.
Then the man, I don't know his name.
Mr. McGregor, yeah.
And then he tried to catch him.
Yep, so then he tried to chase him.
Yeah.
Did he get out of the garden?
Yeah.
Eventually, but first he got lost, and then he couldn't find his way out, and he kept getting chased, and then he finally made it back, and then what happened at the end of the story? The very, very end, Harper?
He laid down and closed his eyes.
Oh, he finally got home, and he laid down and closed his eyes. Did he get to have the good dinner that his mom had cooked?
No.
No, why? Why didn't he get to have the dinner?
Because he was tired.
He was tired, and what? Cora?
Because he got in trouble.
He didn't get in trouble. His tummy was not what? Grace? His tummy wasn't feeling good, right? Because he had so much excitement, so he felt really sick. Very good job. What about this one?
I love this one.
This one was a great one. I loved this one too. What was this one about? Grace?
I'm not telling you anything about the story. He keeps playing with scissors and he has this foam stuff that he's cutting.
Okay, so Rogelio, I looked in your desk and you're going to stay inside for a little bit during recess so you're going to help me clean it out. Okay? There should be nothing loose in your desk and your scissors should be in your pencil box. Okay? So hands on top of your desk for now. I don't want to see your hands in there. Okay. What was the title of this story? You just said it. Mason. Do you remember the title? All the stories are Anansi's. All the stories are Anansi's. Who are the characters in this story? Who are the characters? My goodness, that was an exciting jump up. Yeah, girlfriend. Who are the characters? Characters. Caleb.
The spider and the people.
The spider. What's the spider's name? Anansi. And then the village people he's trying to, we'll talk about them later, but who are the other characters? I see them, don't worry. I got this. Who are the other characters? Evelyn.
The sun god and this guy. And the python and the leopard and then the horn.
Nice job. So she said the sky god, whose name I'm blanking on.
She made
Naomi. The python, the leopard, and the hornet. Very good. Okay. What happened at the beginning of this story? The very beginning. Very, very beginning. Hadley.
The spider asked to have all the stories in the Anansi said what are the stories you have
Nice job. So he asked for the stories for who? Why was he asking for the stories? Who was he asking them for? Mason?
for the burger and he was looking from the sky looking at the noise.
Nice. So he wanted the stories for the villagers. So he wove a web all the way up to the sky. So how can we know Is this a story true or false?
No.
False or fiction, right? So, they went all the way up to the sky to talk to Naomi, the sky god. And the sky god said, I will give them to you if you bring me how many things?
3.
3 things. So what happened next? What happened next? What was the middle of the story? Middle of the story, Grace.
He went to go get the animals he has.
He went to go get all the things he asked. What did he ask for? What did he get first? What did he get first? What did he get first? Grace, go ahead and continue.
The snake.
The snake, the giant python.
And
Then he got what?
the leopard.
The leopard. And then what?
The hornet.
Hornet. How did he get these? Did he get them by just dragging them behind him? No. What did he do? What did he do, Mason?
He tricked.
He tricked them. So he outsmarted them. He was smart. Good. What happened at the very end of the story?
I'll get the story so much I can remember some.
Good. What happened at the very end, Sophia?
He did not ever in the books and they started reading this spider. It was like, I forgot.
Well, no, you got it. So he brought them all to the sky god. The sky god gave them the stories. So now all the people and the villagers had the stories. Okay,
Riddles.
I'm gonna say some riddles.
I'm good at riddles.